Hey guys! Today I want to introduce to you my latest book that I published in the early months of 2020. That book is a part of a trilogy and it's the first book. The trilogy itself is called Heroes of Avalon, and book one is called The Knight of Two Realms. Now, before I really get into this book, I have to give a shout out to my cover designer, Matt Crafton, who is the designer for his company called Space Viking Productions. He does a crazy awesome job at design, and he spent so much time on this specific cover, and he's working with me on book two. I'm so excited to see where that goes. And he's very easygoing, affordable, and he just loves what he does. And so I have to give him a huge shout out. So thank you so much, Matt, for the cover. It's awesome. You're awesome. So this book is the first of, I want to say its kind, but it's not probably of its kind. I have no idea. It's unique. I can definitely say that. And it takes a spin on the King Arthur legend. So how I like to describe it in one phrase, I say King Arthur but in space. And before you think that sounds corny, it's actually not as corny as it sounds. It is has a very serious undertone, I'd say, and all of the people in the first book who have Arthurian legend names are actually, they don't represent the original King Arthur stories. I actually took the characters and did a what if, and I decided, hey, let's turn this character around entirely. And it actually turned out really, really well. This first book, second book, and the third book are all divided into two parts. The first book is the viewpoint from the humans. The second book is the viewpoint from the gods. And the third book will be from the viewpoint of the villains. And there's, I will warn you, a ton of characters in this trilogy, but they all have a purpose. Some are sub-characters for obvious reasons because you need those supporting characters. Others are larger, more main characters. But everyone has their own take on this story. And this story is so huge that in the first book, it actually split worlds, which is kind of somewhat clear-ish. If you look at the cover, there's two different versions of Earth, and that's kind of where all their problems began. In this first book, the antagonist is Nimue, and in normal myths and legends, if you hear about Nimue, she's also associated with, but not always, the Lady of the Lake, who is a very kind and gentle and nice creature. But in my thought process, I said, hey, let's make her evil. Let's make her, what if she wasn't always nice? What if she wasn't as sweet as we think she is? What if she was actually an angry and self-entitled creature? And it sounds kind of crazy, and I am by no means trying to make fun of the original legends. In fact, they're my inspiration. I absolutely have a huge passion for anything involving King Arthur, but I wanted to take my own twist on it. And in this book, she's the antagonist in the first book, and her entire concept is, I want the sword Excalibur, but in her hands it's nothing but disaster. And in this book you have the main heroes, which in the first part is a woman named Avelia, and the second part of the book is a woman named Moira, and both of them actually have to team up to stop Nimue from creating absolute and utter chaos. But nothing actually goes as planned, and in their efforts to try to stop her, things become worse. And I'm not going to give you every little detail, but this book was incredibly fun to create, but it was also challenging, and that it was also nerve-wracking too, because it was my first book of a series, and I have never done a series before, well, one that was consistent. When I was younger, I wrote the Amber Oak mysteries, but that's a story from another video. They weren't very consistent, and so it was hard to keep my thought process straight with this book because there are so many perspectives, different timelines, but it was very well worth it because I created something, or am beginning to create something I never thought in a million years I could create. So if you happen to pick up this book, which I really hope you do, please let me know what you think of it. Reviews are an author's best friend. Any writer out there will definitely tell you we need to know how we did. And reviews are always helpful because it also tells us what we can do better on or what we can work on. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy it.